Hello, and welcome to episode 62 of Prog Review. And we're carrying on with our great epic Rush Sector 2 box set with our little Geddy Lee character there peeping out at you. And today, if you've read the title, you'd already know that we're back to the bare bottom goodness of Hemispheres. Now I've just got to do the thumbnail picture. Maybe I should do it with my thumbs up. Is that good enough? Anyway, Hemispheres. This one was recorded way back in 1978. And it's the 6th studio album from the rock proggers Rush. Now you see what I did there? I swapped it around. Rock prog. That's what I'm going to call them. Rather than prog rock. Do you agree? What do you think of that? Is it a fair summation of their career so far? Rock prog? Anyway, back to the album. Again, it opens up with a huge slab of song story in the form of Hemispheres, the title track. Or, if you want to be really clever, we can give it its full name. Are you ready for this? Take a deep breath. Cygnus X-1 Book II Hemispheres. These guys really know how to, tie your tongue in knots. Phew. So, that was a bit of a mouthful. Well, that's what she said. Anyway, this is 18 minutes, 8 seconds. An epic that actually follows on from the last track of the previous album, Farewell to Kings. The previous song was Cygnus. In Cygnus in health. There's a lot of it about Cygnus X-1 off of Farewell to Kings. I'll get it right in a minute. I don't believe in editing out the mistakes. It adds to the level of entertainment I provide. I try and do everything in one take, you see. Yeah, it's like the Dogma. I'm like the Dogma guy of YouTube. Whereas everyone, looks like Max fucking Headroom. I am not. So anyway, yeah, it carries on from the previous album. And as I've mentioned before, I think it's the only example of rock album where a song or a story has continued over 2 separate albums, which I thought was clever. But I digress. If you'd have seen the previous video, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and I explained it a lot better than I did just then. It's been a long day. Anyway, the instrumental opening is nice and choppy, and there's some very pleasant guitar work from Alex Lifeson. And again, you can hear that there's a progression, and the band, again, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but there does seem to be more of a movement towards melody. And I'm digging it. It's all right, Okay, the story's a little bit convoluted. And it's a bit tosh. It's a bit load of old tosh, really. That's me being polite. I could have called it a load of old bollocks, couldn't I? About gods and the divisions of the brain, the hemispheres of the brain. Hence the title, Hemispheres. However, the lyricist, Mr. Peart, made a bit of a schoolboy error. He didn't research his gods properly, because he sets up Apollo as the left hemisphere, the side of the brain that deals with logic and reason, and Dionysus as the god of the right hemisphere, which represents the sensitive, creative, artistic types. But if you know your Greek gods, you know that Apollo was actually a god of the sun and the arts. He was actually an arty type himself. So a little bit of a niggle there, being a little bit of a pedant. But I'm just being cheeky. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean, you can see why teenagers get off on this stuff, because I can imagine them all sitting listening to this and go, "Wow, this is cosmic, left and right side of the brain. Wow, But But what I really like, I mean, despite it does meander in places, I think we can all agree on that. It does meander. But what I really love, and what I've loved so far, is Geddy Lee as a bass player. He really does bubble things along. It's, the bass line really propels everything forward, and he is the heart and the testicles of the band. The last section and the acoustic part, called The Sphere, is really nice. As I've said before, I like it when Rush keep things small and tone things down. I think they're really good at that. I don't think they do enough of it. So if it was an album, we'd flip it over. You got the big slabber song, 18 minutes on one side. On the other side, you got 3 little songs. Circumstances instantly took me back to that the material from their early albums, the rocky, heavy rock stuff, and I shut down. It's a really heavy, dense affair with some irritating hi-hat work. But there's a revelation in the middle 8 section here. It's a little instrumental break where the band crack out the synthesizer and actually try and do something a little different. And I was shocked. I woke up. I was roused from my catatonic state because it almost sounded like prog rock. Huzzah! Anyway, this is followed by The Trees. Again, it starts off nicely with a little acoustic bit before, going into hard rock territory. It's a bit of a head nodder. However, what saved the song for me was the lyrics. The lyrics were quite humorous, and they were being clever. It's about the trees in the forest arguing about the sunlight. So okay, I don't know, bit corny, but it made me smile, and it's the first time I think there's some real deliberate humour. In a Rush song, and the music was humorous too. There was actually humour in the music, and I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think that The Trees was actually the strongest song on the album. As a nice little unit, it was really satisfying and a strong piece, both musically and lyrically. The blend was perfect. Bit controversial, I know, and the guitar solo actually met my approval too. So thumbs up there. So the album is then rounded off by the epic instrumental La Villa Strangiato, subtitled An Exercise in Self-Indulgence. Now, that is prog rock in general. Self-indulgence, that's all that prog rock is, or any artistic endeavour is really about self-indulgence. It should be about pleasing yourself, because when you start pleasing other people or trying to please other people, you end up creating a monster. But I digress. I quite enjoyed this. I really did. I thought it was quite interesting, and there was the early sections of it reminded me of And So to F by Brand X. Brand X? And So to no. Am I on my own on this? But anyway, check that one out from the album product Brand X, Phil Collins. Really good. So yeah, I actually started to nod my head. I was like, digging it, man. Yeah, I'm really digging it. Yeah, and I'd say that this track alone, the band secures their title as Canada's premier progressive rock band. And I think if more material had been like this, I would have had a much more happier time with the albums. Because again, it's fun, it's playful, and it's not trying to hit you over the head with electric guitar. It's quite an interesting piece, and the band are stretching themselves. And did a little bit of reading up, and it was the hardest thing they've ever recorded, and that's how it should be. They should be stretching themselves. Where I do get the feeling a lot of the time they're not. They're just playing it safe. Where they're taking risks and doing something different. So it was generally progressive and good fun. So now, what was it? 9 minutes on the clock. I'm going to have to get to the rating. In terms of rating, I'm not going to be so crazy and bold as to give this 5, even though I enjoyed it. I did actually enjoy the album. I thought it was good fun. I can't do that. I mean, 3 out of 4 of the songs I thought were pretty solid. With that Circumstances being stinky. But I'm not going to give it a 5. That'd be ridiculous. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a sensible 4 Oppressive Oaks out of 5. That's 4 Oppressive Oaks out of 5. If you agree, disagree, comments in the box below. Thumbs up, thumbs down, tell your granny, show your dog. You can tickle me Twitter, sit on my Facebook, and prod me Google Plus, whatever that is. You know, the old social media stuff. You know, keeps you informed when I update a video. Much better than trying to follow me on the YouTube mess that they've created. So yeah, it's the way to go, trust me. And also you can tell me, hey Darren, do this, do that, or how can I do this, how can I do that? You know, you can interact with me a little bit better as well. So yeah, that's it. I nearly got blinded by the lights. Oh, the lights. So my name's been Darren Rock. I've been burbling on about Rush's album Hemispheres. You've been hopefully enjoying this, you know, having a cup of tea, Earl Grey, yeah. And until next time, which is Permanent Waves, which will be coming on probably the next one after this, obviously. Until then, I shall bid you farewell and have a pleasant morning, afternoon, evening, night time. There's another day gone. And we'll see you all again soon. Prog on. Look at that. Thumb action. You never had that before, have you? Look at me go. Look at me go. Look. Look at the thumbs. Look at the thumbs. Look at the thumbs. Look at the thumbs. Look at the thumbs.